So I've created this vaguely Jetsons 50-ish nanny robot thing. And what I would like to do now is to create some different poses so that if we create some animated GIFs or use her in some kind of animated project, we've got different versions of her. So what we're going to do is rather than affecting the base image, we're going to create some layers, and each of those layers can be different from one another. In essence, creating multiple versions of the same character. So with the Layers tab open, I'm going to retitle layer 1 and just call it Base. Then I'm going to click the plus sign above it, creating another layer, and I'll rename this one Dance Lean Left. Go ahead and I'll select everything within that layer. And I'm going to go up and I can either create a duplicate or I can create a clone. I think what I'm going to do is create a clone because then if I make changes to the shapes, it can carry over into the other iterations of this. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a clone. It's now created all these items that I'm going to drag from the base layer into the new layer that I created, making sure that it's highlighted. So they're now part of it. And we can see if I grab this, we have two of these side by side. And I can hide or show the layers by clicking this little, it's supposed to be like an eyeball icon that's in my layer panel. So that done, I'm going to hide my base layer, and let's just work on this one. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I will select basically everything in the top half, her torso, her head, making sure I get her arms. And then with all of that selected, I will change this from grow shrink to rotate by clicking the middle of the mass. And I can just go ahead and rotate her a little bit. And then we'll just move her over and down a bit to get her into the proper position. And I think I also want the arms to sway, so I'll go ahead and I will grab the arms separately. I unselected everything and I'm reselecting those items. And I'll go ahead and I will rotate them further yet. I'll just go ahead and I will grab them and move them into position. I'll reselect these arms because they're not quite in sync with things anymore and move them down. This arm is going through what is her skirt because it's in a different spot in the hierarchy. If we look here, we see this piece, use 93, is higher in the hierarchy or lower than the hierarchy than number 95. So I'm going to grab 95 and I'm just going to drag it down in the hierarchy a little bit, and that problem is solved. All right, so now we've got her dancing or leaning to the left. I think maybe I'll make a little bit of a tweak here just for my own gratification, I guess. I'll just make a slight little change so that it looks a little bit more how I would imagine it. Now I would like her to lean the opposite direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another layer. And this one will change to lean right because she'll be leaning to, well, our right. I'm going to reselect all these items. We'll create another clone of this and drag them into that new layer. Let's hide the lean left so that we're only working with the lean right. We'll reselect all the items on the top half of her body. I'm holding down the shift key to be able to grab multiple items. And rather than trying to manually do this, I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to look for a button, a couple of triangles And there's one that's called Object Flip Horizontal. And if I select it, she's now going the other way. And then I can just go ahead and reposition. And I now have her dancing to the right. So now basically I have 3 versions of this robot that are all in slightly different poses that I can use for some silly little dancy animation or whatever the case might be.